Hey guys, I'm Phoenix here, and let's talk about space engineers in the forums, shall we? You see, last I played, the game wasn't particularly good, and that was my opinion of the game. Now, I have replayed it yesterday so that I could get some footage for this video, and I have to say the performance has improved massively. It now uses my cores properly. It seems to have a little bit of an issue with using all of my cores, but it's progress, certainly. It's now using more than 4 cores, and it's now using them reasonably evenly. It's using about 6 of them, 6 to 8, depending on how much pressure is being put on the game. And the load times have been severely decreased as well. So you can now get into a standard sort of star system fresh map, in a couple of minutes rather than the 5-10 minutes that it had been taking previously. So that's good. The performance has increased. Graphics, not so much. It's kind of looking a little dated now, I have to say. Certainly on medium, where the LODs on the asteroids just aren't great. There's an awful lot of blurriness, and I believe FXAA is the very cheap AA, which essentially it's like throwing Vaseline at your screen. It's very cheap, it's pretty nasty all in all, and in some cases you might do better just turning AA off, and you might actually get a sort of a sharper image as a result. Not sure, I haven't tried it, but that's usually the case with FXAA, that if you actually turn it off you might actually end up with a better image. A few other bugs that I ran across. I loaded an old save, and turns out if you load an old save, because a few things have changed in the code, the hand drill won't actually work anymore. And if you have things which were like old constructions, it doesn't update it to the new sort of component set. So when you jump out of a cockpit, say you've saved in a cockpit in an old save, and you load into that old save, you are in a cockpit and you are able to fly around the ship within the ship, but you can get out of the cockpit and then realise that actually the cockpit wasn't finished. So you were able to interact with the cockpit, but it wasn't finished because it used to be finished, but now it's not. And that's a little bit weird, and it doesn't support old saves particularly well. So, just something to be aware of, that if you buy into the game now and have an old save, you go back to it when the game's released, the save data may be different, and it may actually have damaged your save quite substantially. I should note that I don't use any mods, so all of this stuff is completely vanilla. So, some of you may have noticed that I haven't been particularly active on the Steam forums for space engineers. This is because a couple of weeks ago I was permanently banned by a moderator for speaking up about some moderator speech that I took some objection to. The speech was talking about how another member was lying about something that he'd said. And apparently they had a bit of a back and forth in private, and the moderator did come out with an apology to say, now that he's clarified the points, essentially. And it was this sort of vague, it wasn't an I'm sorry for calling you a liar, it was, now that you've clarified things, these are the things that he's kind of clarified. Okay, fine, but I still don't think that he should have insinuated that the poster was a liar in the first place. And that's basically what I said. And it was literally just a paragraph on this forum, on this thread, and then I was talking about the Steam survey, which was the subject of this discussion. That bit was rather larger. The moderator in question publicly said that I was the worst on the forums, and something like that. And at that point, he took it over to a private message, and I just stated my opinion. I stated my side of things civilly. There was no swearing in there. There's nothing. There's nothing objectionable with what I said. It was literally just, I do believe that it's rather hypocritical of you to use language that we wouldn't be allowed to use ourselves. That was it. And as a result, there was a little bit of back and forth with him in his brain that was posted in It was a little bit of a running commentary of what he was thinking at the time. But it ended up with him saying, you know what, I'm going to permanently ban you to make an example of you. Which I take some issue with, especially when you can make a complete pig's ear of making an example of me. Because you removed all of my posts and nobody realised I had been banned. That's not making an example of, that's just getting rid of me to what? Who knows? And I get it, moderator. Your favourite game is Space Engineers and you're doing the moderation for free out of the kindness of your heart. And that's fine, and all in all, I don't think you're a particularly bad moderator. But I do think that there is an issue with when you ban people as a result of their opinions about the game. They're negative. It's negative criticism. Just like me saying earlier on in the video that the performance has improved massively. That's positive criticism. And there's nothing wrong with it. But you take offence to it because you enjoy Space Engineers. And that's fine to enjoy Space Engineers. I'm not saying you should not enjoy Space Engineers. What I'm saying is that the game has issues because it could be so much better. And if the developers really worked on some of the features that made it good, then the game could be a better game as a result. And I don't expect the moderator will watch this video all the way through. And I doubt the moderator will get that message across. And I'm not making this video to be debanned. This is sort of my final message, as it were, for anybody who deals with that forum. If you need support, if you need to know what the game is like, go to the official forums and ask. If you want to know what the game is like, watch some videos of people who have no interest in the game playing the game. There's some great ones out there. The best one that I've seen, Good Boulder Fist playing, I think it was either 3 or 4 player multiplayer with with a sort of group of friends, and they were just playing the game as it was, and they ran into so many problems as a result. But I think watching those sorts of videos to find out what the game is actually like, rather than asking on a forum which is steadily becoming a closed chamber of positivity. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a bad thing when the negative criticism is being stifled in favour of having as much positivity on the forum as possible, especially as the game comes up to eventually being released. And that's a shame, because the game had so much potential. It had so much promise. But anyway, I'm going to end here. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you for some more non-drama related content later.